What if I told you there's a jellyfish that can live forever? You might think you're hearing some fantasy story, but this is reality. And this isn't the only creature that can live like this. Welcome back, everyone. Here you're about to see 7 animals that are immortal. From a tiny jellyfish that turns back time to an Aztec that never grows up. This list will blow your mind. So make sure to watch until the end. But before we start, make sure you hit the subscribe button to stay updated. Also, be sure to stick around to see our special gift for you at the end of the video. Number 7. The Immortal Jellyfish. There are many types of jellyfish out there, but one stands above all others. It's called the Torotopsis dohrnii, also known as the Immortal Jellyfish. It was discovered in 1880 by Austrian zoologist Richard Dahl and lives in the Mediterranean Sea and the northern Atlantic Ocean. Its name comes from the Greek word touris, meaning tower, and eidos, meaning form, referring to its shape. The main reason why it's famous is because it has the ability to live forever. How does it manage this? By reversing the aging process. When it's about to die, it transforms back into a younger stage of its life cycle. Scientists have studied this phenomenon and believe it could hold the secret to human immortality. They've even managed to grow these jellyfish in labs to study them, but they need to find a way to scale up their results so they can help us humans. Someday soon we might be able to turn back time, just like these amazing jellyfish. No. 6. The Hydra. If you look at ancient Greek mythology, you'll come across a many-headed monster named Hydra. In the stories, for every head that was cut off, 2 more would grow back in its place. Well, there's a creature like this in the real world, but it's not a monster. It's a small freshwater animal that belongs to the phylum Niberia, like jellyfish and corals. It's been studied for centuries and is still a mystery to scientists today. It has a mouth surrounded by stinging cells, tentacles that grow out of its head, and a stem with unhatched buds that produce more heads. They can reproduce both sexually and asexually and seem to be able to regenerate endlessly. Unlike the jellyfish, they don't reverse the aging process. Instead, they simply create copies of themselves. To date, no one has ever seen a Hydra die from old age. Number 5. The Axolotl. Have you ever seen an axolotl? If you haven't, prepare to fall in love with this unique amphibian. It's part of the wider salamander family and is famous for its pink skin and gray gills. It lives in Mexico City and has become popular among aquarium owners. It's also been featured in several videos and TV shows. Now here's what makes them special. Axolotls can regrow lost limbs and can even recover from injuries that would kill most other animals. They can't reverse the aging process or clone themselves like the previous creatures on this list, but they're practically immortal because they never really grow up. The axolotl is neotenic, which means it keeps most of its larval features throughout adulthood. For example, it retains its gills, which are normally lost during metamorphosis. This helps them breathe underwater, allowing them to live in lakes and canals. Number 4. Naked mole rats. If you're not impressed by cute-looking animals, then you'll love the next entry on this list. Let me introduce you to naked mole rats. As their name suggests, they're rat-sized mammals with wrinkly skin that look like wrinkled little old men. But despite their appearance, they're actually quite young. They live up to 30 years, which is already impressive. But that's not all. Naked mole rats are almost completely immune to cancer. Scientists have studied them to try to understand how they avoid cancer. Normally, cancer occurs when cells divide uncontrollably. However, naked mole rats have cells that stop dividing after a certain point. It seems they sacrifice their ability to grow new cells in exchange for immunity from cancer. This might not sound like a good deal, but at least they get to live for decades. Number 3. Deep sea microbes. Did you know that bacteria exist in the deepest parts of the ocean? Scientists have found evidence of deep sea microbes living 10,000 feet below the surface. At such great depths, there's no light and temperatures can reach 194 degrees Fahrenheit. But microbes have somehow adapted to survive in these extreme conditions. They feed off compounds that ooze from the seabed and use chemical reactions instead of sunlight for energy. Some of these bacteria have been alive for thousands of years. In 2010, researchers drilled into the bottom of the sea off the coast of Japan and found bacteria that had been frozen for 24,000 years. When exposed to air, the microbes began feeding on wood and other organic matter that fell to the ocean floor. So while they might not be able to clone themselves or reverse the aging process, they're definitely practically immortal. Number 2, lobsters. Do you want to live forever? Then you should probably eat more lobsters. Just kidding. But there is some truth to this joke. Lobsters don't die from old age. Instead, they die from external factors, like being caught by fishermen. Lobsters continue to grow throughout their lives and have no upper size limit. However, their shells can't keep up with their growth, so they need to molt to fit into a larger one. This process leaves them vulnerable to predators, so they try to hide in caves and crevices. Once they're big enough, they can live indefinitely. It seems lobsters have traded the ability to live for a long time for the ability to keep growing forever. So if you're worried about getting old, then you should move in with a lobster. It'll always be younger than you. No. 1. Bacteria in permafrost. Up until now, we've covered creatures that can live forever in the wild, but bacteria in permafrost can live forever in the lab. In 2015, scientists managed to wake up bacteria that had been frozen for 30,000 years. They used a technique known as metagenomic resurrection to bring the bacteria back to life. The bacteria were found in Siberian permafrost and were originally preserved in ice layers left behind by the last ice age. When the bacteria were removed from the ice and placed in a petri dish, they began to multiply quickly. The researchers believe that as global temperatures rise, more of these ancient bacteria will be released into the environment. Some could be dangerous to humans, but others could help us learn more about the history of life on Earth. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll even learn how to live forever by studying these amazing bacteria. Which animal surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. We hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to share it with your friends and stay tuned for more content like this. Thanks for watching.